that one day became a canal. But let's go back in time. In 1513, during the Spanish conquest of America, the natives of the area led Vasco Núñez de Balboa across the isthmus, straight to the South Sea. It was the first time a European sighted the Pacific Ocean. The advantages of establishing a transit route through the Isthmus of Panama were evident immediately. And it was there, on the Pacific coast, that the first town of the American continent was built. Over time, the road became a gold route. Between 1531 and 1660, 60% of all the gold that was shipped from the New World to Spain crossed the Isthmus of Panama. In 1821, Panama declared its independence from Spain, and following the leadership and vision of Simón Bolívar, voluntarily became part of the Gran Colombia. During the gold rush of 1848, Panama was the first passage for those who moved to California in search of fortune. Given the international economic and strategic potential of the route, and after signing an agreement with Colombia, France undertook in 1880 the construction of a sea-level canal through Panama. The renowned builder of the Suez Canal, Ferdinand de Lesseps, started a company to join the North Sea with the South Sea. In other words, the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. After 20 years of hard work, fighting an inhospitable climate, an indomitable jungle, disease, and financial problems, the French abandoned their titanic task. On November 3, 1903, Panama declared its separation from Colombia, and 15 days later signed a treaty with the United States to build a canal. Over a 10-year period, more than 55,000 men and women, mostly from the Antilles, constructed a work of colossal dimensions. The Panama Canal began operations as the summit of the efforts of many years to join the Atlantic and the Pacific Oceans. And the path became a canal. From 1914, the United States operated and managed the canal while governing the waterways surrounding areas. However, from the moment the agreement was signed, Panamanians demanded recognition of their sovereignty over its entire territory. The most critical milestone of the relations between the two countries took place on January 9, 1964, when Panamanian students raised their flag in the area under U.S. jurisdiction and caused riots that left a tragic toll on Panamanians. Finally, in 1977, the Torrijos-Carter treaties were signed, which recognized the sovereignty of Panama and set the transfer of the administration of the waterway to Panama for December 31st, 1999. Under Panamanian stewardship, the canal faces the challenge of having a more profitable operation. The aim is to generate constant benefit for the country and, at the same time, comply with the demands for its services. This impressive piece of engineering has three sets of locks: Gatun on the Atlantic and Pedro Miguel and Miraflores in the Pacific. The locks system raises ships from sea level as true steps of water, both in the Atlantic and the Pacific side, to the level of the Gatun Lake, 26 meters above sea level, where they navigate through the canal watershed in the mountain range of Panama. It is important to note that this whole operation is performed under the principle of gravity. The Panama Canal operates 24 hours a day, and from 35 to 40 ships transit every day on an 8 to 10 hour, 80-kilometer long journey. From 1914 to date, the canal has a record of more than 1 million transits. The need to expand the operational infrastructure of the waterway was an imminent fact, as larger locks were needed for larger vessels. Therefore, after several years of studies, the proposal for the canal expansion was presented to the country and approved by the majority of Panamanians in a national referendum. Expansion works formally began on September 3, 2007, in the Canal Bank community of Paraíso. The project consisted in the construction of two new sets of locks, one on the Pacific side and one on the Atlantic side, capable of accommodating more and bigger vessels. The new locks are 60% wider and 40% longer. They have a modern rolling gate system and 3 water-saving basins for chamber or level, contributing to save up to 7% of the water used. The construction of the Panama Canal third set of locks, which was executed in compliance with the greatest and strictest preservation and environmental protection standards, created new direct and indirect jobs. More than 37,000 Panamanians, with representation from all provinces and indigenous territories, worked day and night in the canal expansion works. More than 4.5 cubic meters of concrete were needed, and 150 million cubic meters of earth were excavated and dredged. Almost 200 tons of steel. The locks complexes were designed and constructed. The access and navigation channels were excavated and deepened. A titanic task with epic results.
Transit Plan out of peace. Postcode shipping Panama. Good morning. Checking radio.
Good morning, Saudi. On behalf of the Marine Traffic Control Center, we welcome the Master and his crew to the inaugural transit of the expanded Panama Canal.
Very early, the morning of June 26, 2016, the container vessel Costco Shipping Panama made the inaugural transit through the third set of locks of the expanded canal. The canal seduces with its magnitude and modern engineering, but also for its efficiency and rigorous performance, which represents the talent and dedication of an entire country. When we accepted the challenge of managing the canal, we also committed to its continuous improvement. And so it was. Panama is a small country with big dreams, a country proud of its people, who work relying on the future and with a very specific responsibility to maintain the interoceanic route to the service of world trade. For this, the Panama Canal, the world's route, This is the Panama Canal.
Panama, thank you for your good wishes. And we'd like to congratulate all people, especially the Panama Canal Authority, and wish the canal and long-lasting prosperity. Thank you very much.